What's up? Welcome back to the Harley J Way podcast. Like always, I'm your host, Harley J. Now, a few days ago, I got the chance to sit down with the incredible Sam Newton. Now, look, there's a good chance you don't know the guy, but you probably should. He's a filmmaker, and the films he produces are some of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. He does some of the coolest, most funny stuff ever. He's a great guy. He's insanely nice to talk to. And like I said, his videos are so damn good. Like always, all of his links are in the description. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to talk to him. So, without further ado, let's do this.
Welcome to the Harley J Way, the Harley J Way. I'm your host, Harley J. Let's jump right in.
What's up, guys? We are so back. Now, we are here with the incredible Sam Newton. Can you tell us about yourself, Sam? Who are you? What do you do?
Thank you for having me. My name is Sam. I'm a travel filmmaker and full-time YouTuber. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I make cinematic travel films on the internet.
That's amazing. What kind of sparked your interest in travel filmmaking? How did that whole journey begin?
Yeah. When I was just graduating from college, I was making a bunch of videos about my life and my friends and what we did. And I started making videos for like clubs on campus and different local commercials. And I really fell in love with the process of filmmaking. And when I graduated, all I really wanted to do was travel because I hadn't really traveled much at all. So I thought, why not try to combine the two and travel while making videos? And I started traveling I went to Europe first, did a little European tour and hit up a bunch of different companies, and a lot of them got back to me and said no, said we're not interested. But I actually got out of the 3,000 emails I sent, I got about three companies that said yes, and that kind of switched a light bulb in my head, and I was like, okay, you can make videos and travel the world at the same time. That's exactly what I want to do, and so I started doing that, and it took about like 3 years for it to actually start catching on. But once it did, it basically became my full-time job, and I've never looked back.
That's amazing. I love that. Now I want to start diving into kind of your brand and stuff. One thing that a lot of people who kind of know your channel and know you will know that you are a turtleneck enthusiast.
hmm
How did that come into your brand? I'm just curious. How did that come into your brand?
Well, we went out to New Zealand back in 2019, I think it was. 2018? 2019? I think it was 2019. Uh, and it was me and four buddies, and we thought it would be really funny to all wear turtlenecks on the road trip, and just wear white turtlenecks and uh, look like idiots and drive around Norway. And that's exactly what we did. We bought these turtlenecks, and for everybody else's turtleneck just ended up going into their closet, never to be seen again. But I kept mine on, and I thought it'd be a funny little bit to just keep reintroducing the turtleneck in my videos, and it kind of became a part of my brand. Before I knew it, I was the guy in the turtleneck. So
Have
yeah,
you have you ever considered launching your own line of turtlenecks for filmmakers? You know.
I have actually. I've sold over 500 turtlenecks. We've done
I did
two
not.
rounds.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The last one was 2 years ago, so it's been a minute since we actually sold
Okay,
them. But
that's why I didn't know about it. Okay.
yeah, so it's been a minute since we've done it, but yeah, maybe they'll make a comeback. I think it's probably a one and done kind of thing, but it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I was introduced to you about 4 years ago online. Uh, do you take a guess how I was introduced to you? How I found out about you?
I would guess the Peter McKinnon video,
Yep.
or yeah,
It's Peter.
see, there we
You
go.
can you tell us the story of the new Peter McKinnon video?
Absolutely. I was going full time into YouTube, or wanted to kind of make that full time jump into YouTube, and I thought, well, why not try to get the attention of one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, Peter? And I did exactly that. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be on YouTube, I want to kind of see what I can do to kind of make a splash. And so I called him out. I use air quotes because it was kind of like a friendly tongue-in-cheek style video where I called him out, and it was all jokes, all love, and he saw the video within a couple hours, and then within a couple hours of me posting the video, he had already reached out and responded to me, which I thought was crazy. And then a couple days later, he was on his channel posting a reaction video to the video, telling people to come over to my channel. And basically, 1 week, I grew about 30,000 subscribers, which was insane.
I mean, that's insane. Yeah. I mean, I remember watching that video and being like, holy shit, this guy is insane. Like, I was just shocked. It was incredible. I loved it.
Appreciate it. How old were you at that time?
Well, 4 years ago, I just turned 14, so I was 10 years old.
10, watching camera video, dude, getting a start on it. I love it.
Thank you. Now, how do you approach the kind of the vibe of creating a music video versus a travel film?
Yeah, I mean, music videos are often much more, I mean, you obviously have to start with the song first, so making the song comes from a much more, uh, let's lack of a better term, stupid place because it's just me and my producer, and he would send beats, and I would just be like, all right, let's have some fun, let's be silly, let's just mess around here, and then see what comes of it. And I think the songs are just kind of like my outlet to have some fun and not really worry too much about how amazing it is or how much of an art piece it is. It's just kind of like an outlet for me to have fun and make stuff with my friends. And then my travel films are much more like I try to have some kind of emotional connection to them, try to have a little bit of depth in them. Yeah, I love it. I love both of them. They both work really well with my style of creating because I get to be, I'm a multifaceted person and I like to be stupid and funny, but I also like to be serious and artistic. And so it works really well. I haven't made it music in like a year and a half now, so we gotta,
Yeah,
I gotta get on that.
when are we getting the next Sam Newton song?
Man, my producer just had a kid, and so he's being pretty lazy
Ah.
right now. But maybe we'll see. Maybe we can get people to go DM him. His Instagram is Mark9Producer. Go DM him
Okay,
and send him a
everyone, yeah,
message.
go DM him. I mean, if y'all haven't heard his Sam's music, I mean, it's the funniest stuff I've ever listened to. Like, it's good music, but the best part about it is just it's so funny. So y'all go listen to that. It's amazing. But now I want to go back into into your travel films. Your latest film, KP9, which I personally love. How did that film come to be? And how is it so effing cinematic? Like, that thing is one of the most cinematic pieces of art I've ever seen. How did it come to me, and how is it so cinematic?
Thank you, man. It was essentially just we had seen that there was this big Northern Light storm that was going to happen, and it kind of all came together within the matter of a couple days. I hit up Chris saying like, "Hey," or no, sorry, I don't want to take the credit. Chris hit me up, telling like, "Yo, there might be this crazy storm." So we booked these tickets, and I was like, "Oh, this works out well. Canon wants to work on something with me, so let's see what we could do and fly out there and just hopefully we get a good night of Northern Lights." And we got as lucky as we could ever ask for because we landed, and then within the next day, it's just already the lights came out in the most incredible fashion, and it was truly a special experience.
It's an incredible film. I remember seeing it. But what drives the whole, like, how is it so cinematic? That's honestly what I'm genuinely curious about. How is it so cinematic? That film is so incredible.
I mean, it helps when you have the Northern Lights doing a lot of the hard work for you. It was one of the craziest nights I've ever seen. But, having good people around you, Chris is so talented. He helped me shoot it. I always am an advocate for surrounding yourself with good people that make you better. And Chris is one of those guys. He and I, we just worked together on capturing it in the most authentic way. And that's what we did.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing that in that premiere, and that was genuinely incredible. Just the lighting kind of surrounding you, and watching it on the screen, these incredible images and this amazing story. That was incredible. So huge props to you. That was amazing.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you share some sort of moment when you took some sort of significant creative risk and that ended up paying off or didn't pay off?
Significant creative risk. I'd say my biggest risk was it's twofold. Well, the first one's obviously trying to be a travel filmmaker is not an easy task. at all, but I knew that if somebody wanted to do it, or if somebody could do it, like why not me? And people out there were getting paid for making travel films, so like why couldn't I do the same thing? And so that was probably my first big risk is just like, hey, I'm not going to pay rent on a house. I'm just going to use that money and travel as much as possible and hit up companies, see what we could make happen. And worst case scenario, I could fall back and make local business commercials, but let's see what we can do. And I did that. I met my um, then business partner, Luke Jackson Clark, out in the hostel in Thailand. And it just kind of changed everything and opened my eyes for like what was possible in the travel filmmaking world. So that risk and that leap of faith I took by trying to become a travel filmmaker just ended up leading me to the right people that would then open more doors for me to actually make that happen. So that would be my first one, and the second one was going into YouTube. It's just I kind of believe in the all-in approach. If you're going to do it, do it big and do it well. And I went into YouTube and took that risk of just like, all right, I'm going to stop taking on client videos. I'm only going to do. I had a little bit of money saved up, and I'm like, I'm only doing YouTube videos now. Let's see what happens. And 4 years later, here I am.
Yeah. Like, so those were risks that paid off. What are some risks that just didn't pay off at all?
Oh, that's a good question. Risks that did not pay off. I think a lot of time it's not much of a risk. It's more of like a financial thing with gear. I think a lot of time I convince myself I need a specific piece of gear. Like, oh, if I get this, then this will happen. And I'd say that's probably the biggest risk I've taken where it's just like financial, like I'm making financial decisions based off what people tell me I need on the internet. Like, oh, you need this drone or you need that, and I end up getting it. And that doesn't change the problem, right? The problem with not creating well enough is like you haven't put in the time and the effort to go make something beautiful. Because the truth is, you could do it on your phone. You can make amazing things on your phone. And not saying a phone is better than this camera behind me, but you can make something good. I know filmmakers that can make something better on a phone than 99% of filmmakers can make on a nice camera. So I think the biggest thing would just be not falling into that trap of just like convincing yourself it will be better when you get this next piece of gear.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. My latest short film was filmed on this iPhone right here, and that film has already won a few awards for its cinematography and just the film itself. And I'm proud of that film. And the crazy thing is, I shot that entire film 3 hours on this smartphone. So
Heck yeah, dude.
yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. So I heard that you're doing your sixth annual or not annual but your sixth Sam Newton Film Festival. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, I host it every single year out here in LA. And I really am a big fan of bringing people together and hosting creative events. That's how we met. We met at
Yeah.
an event out for my KP9 film, and it's just a cool way to meet the community, meet my community, and just connect creators with each other. I think not only for people to meet me, but for people to meet each other is so cool to me. And I think this is just an incredible night of that, of people coming out and just enjoying films and having a good time. And yeah, it really is special.
When do submissions open?
Submissions are going to be open honestly this week, and we're going to run
Okay.
submissions into the first week of February. So
Well,
we'll,
I'll be submitting. I'll definitely be submitting. I have
I
some
love
stuff to
it, dude.
submit. So, what advice would you kind of give to aspiring filmmakers looking to grow as like filmmakers and storytellers?
If it feels good to you, it'll probably feel good to the audience. So if it doesn't feel right, if you're making something and you're like, "Ah, I don't know, something's off, it doesn't feel right, then the audience will probably have that same feeling. But if you make something, regardless of like how well you think it might perform or might not perform, it's just like if you make something and you're really affected by it and it really moves you, then there's a very good chance that it'll do the same for your
Yeah,
audience.
I love that. And now, final question. Okay, Canon or Nikon?
We got to go with Canon. Come on. We stay
Yeah,
Canon all the way, but there's no hate. I got love in my heart for Nikon, but yeah,
I
it's
thought like Nikon cameras were a potato.
no. Sometimes I just like to poke the bear. Sometimes I just like to get people angry.
Yeah,
It's all love over here for Nikon, but yeah,
yeah,
Canon definitely takes the crown.
yeah. What's the best like Canon like camera for like beginners kind of?
For beginners, I think the R50 is a very, very good, solid beginner camera. If you want to take one step up, you can even get like the R8 or R7, which R7 I think is the full frame, and so you can kind of continually work your way up. But yeah, they're both incredible. They're all incredible cameras, and they all serve different purposes. But use what you have, use what you got.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for hopping on with us today. This was awesome. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime soon.
Big time, Harley. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who listened. Make sure you subscribe to Harley's YouTube channel. He's up and coming. He's gonna make it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bro.